My name is Culp. I grew up in Indiana. I now live in Ohio with my wife, and we have a 2-year-old little girl. After high school, I was a state FFA officer in Indiana, and then I went to Connors State College in Oklahoma. I transferred down to Texas A&M to finish my bachelor's. Then I went to Purdue and was their assistant coach and their youth livestock specialist. And then I went to Ohio State, so I was in school for a long time and finished up my PhD there and taught and coached there. And now I work for an ag business based out of Ohio. So originally, so when these things started, like in the late 1800s, early 1900s, people were using them as ways to evaluate the livestock being bred in their area, and then they would take those animals back, and those would be the ones that they would breed on to try to improve the breeds, and then ultimately the species. But over time, as people started to move off of farms and they maybe weren't relying on production agriculture as their sole source of income, then I think it became somewhat of a teaching or even an entertainment kind of a thing, where families get together and they like to travel around, and it's nice because I think most people, especially kids, have just an intrinsic appreciation for animals, and so it becomes a really good teaching tool. So I think it's kind of twofold, and to keep things really basic, it's kind of like a combination of, say, like a bodybuilding contest and like a beauty pageant. So with the bodybuilding part, these are ultimately market animals, so muscle is very important and want kind of the appropriate amount of muscle. Then the beauty pageant part is kind of we kind of want them to look good because it is a show. But there is a functional part to that too, because generally if they look good, then they're pretty good structured as well, which means they can move around pretty free and easy. And while for the market animals, it might not be super important, but if we think about in every litter, say there's 10 pigs born, half of them are females, and we want to keep those back to be moms, they're really going to need to move correctly in order to make it as a mom. So we want to put some emphasis there too, because otherwise we can put way too much emphasis on one thing and then ultimately have issues down the road. So my opinion is that ultimately it provides a very fundamental background into animal science for kids that might go into that field, but also I think it does a lot to instill responsibility and the importance of waking up and doing a good job every day and doing the right thing. So I think aside from maybe the animal science aspect, we're just kind of trying to build quality values into good people so that we can have strong communities.